On a partly cloudy 58-degree Friday afternoon, we welcome you to Waterbury Municipal Stadium for a CACC North Division doubleheader clash as the Post Eagles close out a 6-game homestand against the Felician Golden Falcons. Thanks for joining me on the CACC Network. I'm Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on this Friday in Waterbury, Connecticut. Two of the top three teams in the North Division come head-to-head, Post riding a 3-game skid after being swept by Wilmington on Tuesday, but still hold the top spot in the North over Dominican. As for Felician, they sit in third and split their Tuesday doubleheader against Chestnut Hill. On the mound for Post, Brendan Holigan, comes in as the top starter on this Post staff. Comes in with a 3-1 record, a 3.90 ERA through 5 starts this year. Has given up 15 runs on 15 runs, 13 of them earned through 30 innings. He struck out 37 and has walked just 9. We'll take a look at the Felician order that he will be facing. Jackson Wall leads off playing in left. Luis De La Cruz is the catcher batting second. Chris Corchado is the DH batting third. Rocco Bresniak batting fourth, playing in right field. We'll dive in the rest of the lineup as this one moves along. Holligan sets on the bump. First pitch is a hit into left field, and it'll drop in for a base hit from Jackson Wall. First pitch coming at 12:27 p.m. local time. And before I could even dive into it, Jackson Wall has been up to. He rips one into left field. Now extends his hitting streak to 7 games in a row and sets the table for Luis De La Cruz, the junior catcher. Takes the first pitch outside from Holligan. Looking at the rest of the order, Anthony Lamar bats fifth, playing at first. Hayden Walters is the second baseman, batting sixth. Ernesto Polanco bats seventh, playing at third. The 0-1 popped up out of play straight back. Matthew Skrivanek is the shortstop batting eighth, and Christian Baumann rounds things out batting ninth and playing in center field. Max Weber is on the bump this afternoon for Felician. The 1-1. Another pop-up. This will go into the field of play. Moving over towards second base, two Post players collide. It's Alfala to make the grab, and Maiko Cardona went crashing into the lower legs of Alfala, and he is waving training staff over for himself. Off to a eventful first two at-bats as Cardona walks off in discomfort. Athletic trainer holding his left arm and hand. Alfala appears to be all right. Cardona went crashing into his legs. And so we'll have a early substitution in place of Cardona. Will be Manny Contreras. Holligan will get a few warm-up pitches as we work through this delay and hope everything is okay for Cardona, who has been a very steady piece of this Post order. Batting .343 on the year, has 11 RBIs. Has been a big piece of Post so far this year. And so it'll be Contreras to come in. Just his 8th appearance of the season. And so Chris Corchado now steps into the batter's box. Former Post player in Corchado. Wall a little far off the bag. Dives back in ahead of the snap throw from Holligan. Another throw over, and Wall dives back in safely. Corchado sends this the other way and into the left center field gap. That'll split between the two outfielders in Rodriguez and Roberge. Rounding third and on his way home comes Wall. It is a RBI double for Corchado to open up the top of the first inning. He got changed last minute from DH to first base, and now Anthony Lamar is the DH. But for Corchado, continues on his tear. Had a 4-game hit streak snapped again in Game 2 against Chestnut Hill, but he has been raking over the last 5 games, nearly batting .500. Picks up RBI number 13 on the season, and in his return to Post, he makes the Eagles pay early. Spent the last 3 seasons with Post, starting majority of all his contests. Batted .349 last year with 2 home runs and 28 RBIs, a part of Post's CACC championship team. Was second team all-conference as a first baseman, as that dips outside to Rocco Bresniak, who comes in after spending the last 2 years with Brookdale Community College. Was named NJCAA D3 Baseball Player of the Year last season. And comes in batting .387 this season across 23 games with a couple home runs and 14 RBIs. Gets on base at a .472 clip and is good for 18th in the conference. He's 8th in terms of batting average. Leads the team among qualified hitters in basically every category. 1-2, dribbles foul down the third base line. With Brookdale last year being the Baseball Player of the Year at the NJCAA D3 level, led the nation with a .568 batting average and got on base at a .636 clip. Had 82 RBIs. The 1-2. Chops it off of home plate. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Gets away from Perez. Picks it up, fires to first. It's wide. Contreras with a diving stop holds that from going into the outfield and keeps Corchado at third. So that is a drop third wild pitch that puts Bresniak on first. Puts runners on the corners with 1 gone for Anthony Lamar. Not the start that Halligan was hoping for. Was CACC honor roll this past week after his start against Southern Connecticut on the 29th of March. Went 7 innings, giving up just 1 run on 3 hits with 6 strikeouts. 3-0 in his last 3 starts. First pitch to Lamar, hit on the ground. Alfala picks it up on the sliding backhand. Long throw on a first. The scoop from Contreras is in time for out number 2. A run will score in Corchado. Makes it 2-0 Felician. But Jesse Alfala, flash in the leather, gets out number 2 in this first inning. Brings up Hayden Walters, the second baseman. Takes it outside for ball 1. He was Conference Player of the Week back at the end of February. Batting .295 this season. 2 home runs with 19 RBIs. Leads this Felician squad in terms of RBIs. 1-0 popped up out of play, third base side. The 1-1. In there for a called strike. Walters in his third year as a starter with Felician. Comes in on a 5-game hit streak. The 1-2. Fights it off with a foul ball to the first base coach, who is extremely far down the line in terms of at least proximity to home plate. Another 1-2. Walters drives it right center field. That'll get down. Bresniak will score with ease as this rolls all the way to the wall, and Walters is looking for third as he comes round and around the bases, and he is in there with a stand-up 2-out triple to make it 3-0 Felician in the top of the first inning. Walters picks up his 20th RBI of the season on his first triple of the year. And he continues to produce for the middle part of this order, setting the table for the bottom half with Ernesto Polanco, the third baseman, on a 3-game hitting streak when he has an at-bat. Is in Game 2 against Bridgeport. He had just one plate appearance, but he walked, so it didn't register as an at-bat. As an RBI in at least 4 of his last 6, and he makes it 5 of his last 7 as he drops this into right field. And Felician continues its hot start to this first inning, 4-0 on Polanco's 12th RBI this season. Matt Skrivanik, it comes in now. A shortstop and the 8-hitter. Just batting 175 this year as Polanco takes his lead over at first. It's outside and it's 1-0. Time is called as Holligan steps back on the bump. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. Works the count to 1-1. The 1-1. Dips outside, 2-1. Felician has been a hot offense as of late. Prior to their 8-3 loss in Game 2 on Tuesday against Chestnut Hill, they had put up 7 or more runs in their last 5 contests, all of which were wins. They have 4 in this first inning. As this is pulled down the line, and it is a fair ball down the left field line, drifting into the corner. Polanco heads for third, and in with a stand-up 2-out double is Skrivanik to extend this first inning and bring up the 9-hitter and Christian Baumann. And there will be a mound visit for Post. Holligan has been rock solid for Post this season. His highest runs allowed were 4 earned runs in 2 of his appearances, but those came across 6 innings. This is just through 2/3 of the first inning. He has been rocked by this Felician squad. As Bauman steps up, 211 hitter this season, has 8 RBIs on the year. He struggled over his last 5 games thus far. First pitch breaks in over the plate and in for a called strike 1. He's 3 for his last 21. Went 1 for 3 in Game 1 and 0 for 4 in Game 2 against Chestnut Hill on Tuesday. Here comes the 0-1. He turns and drives this one out towards right field. Velasco is there. He'll make the grab, and the inning is over. 9 batters come up in the first inning for Felician. They take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the first on the CACC network. Welcome back to Waterbury Municipal Stadium. Bottom of the first inning, Felician has gotten off to a hot start. 4 runs on 5 hits in the top of the first inning, highlighted by an RBI double from Chris Corchado, an RBI triple from Hayden Walters, an RBI single from Ernesto Polanco. As we come into the bottom of the first inning, you saw a look at the post order in between half innings, and on the bump for Felician will be Max Weber, the 6'8" sophomore right-hander out of Hicksville, New York. Making his 7th start on the year, he is 4-1 with a 2.12 ERA through 34 innings, giving up just 11 runs, 8 of those earned with 43 Ks to 12 walks. Opponents are batting .188 against the tall righty, who delivers a first pitch ball to Jesse Alfala. Weber has been on the CACC honor roll each of the last 2 weeks and 3 times total this season. Alfala hits a chopper to short, picked up by Skrivanik, fires on the first, and he's got him by a step for out number 1. We'll take a look at this Felician defense. Luis de la Cruz is behind home plate. Anthony Lamar holds first base. Hayden Walters is at second. Skrivanik, who just made the play, is at short. Ernesto Polanco occupies the hot corner at third. Christian Bauman occupies center field. He is flanked in right by Rocco Bresniak, and Jackson Wall rounds things out in left field. Rene Vega now steps into the lefty's batter's box. Takes a first pitch strike from Weber. Vega, a freshman, has batting at a .375 clip this season. Turns and hits a slow roller towards the right side, and it squeaks under the glove of Walters and into right field. And Post has its first base runner aboard on the 1-out single from Vega. Brings up Damaris Rodriguez, the center fielder for Post, coming off co-player of the week in the CACC last week. Went 12 for 20 with a couple of doubles, a triple, and 9 RBIs. Comes in second in terms of batting average in the CACC, 15th in RBIs and 5th in on-base percentage. The 1-0. Inside, and it's 2-0 to Rodriguez. Two-0 is high, and it's 3-0. Rodriguez had a 6-game hitting streak, but it was snapped against Wilmington in Game 2. He was just 0 for 1 in that contest. Takes a called strike on the inside corner. A snap throw down to first has Vegas scampering back in time. Rodriguez thought he had worked the walk, went to toss his bat, but held back, and it goes to 3-1. Righty on lefty matchup against Rodriguez. The 3-1. Pulls this one into right field past the diving glove of Lamar. Vega will round second, heads into third. Puts runners on the corners with one away as Post looks to answer back from the 4-run top of the first inning from Felician. Now brings up Justin Rivera. 26 RBIs this season for Rivera. That leads the team for Post. A .376 hitter, righty on righty. First pitch paints the inside corner. The 0-1. In there, and it's quickly 0-2 against Rivera. On deck is Isaiah Velasco, the right fielder for Post. The 0-2. Swing, not swung on a miss, caught a foul tip from Rivera. A 12-game hitting streak for Rivera coming into today's contest. 3 RBIs in each of his last 2 games. This is driven the other way, and he'll drop into right field for a base hit. Vega will score. On his way to third goes Rodriguez, and Rivera delivers with a RBI single to put Post on the board in the bottom of the first and answer back from that 4-run first inning from Felician. 3 consecutive base hits from Post, and there are runners on the corners once again as Isaiah Velasco steps into the batter's box, and that hitting streak for Rivera now extends to 13 games. First pitch is a strike to the lefty in Velasco. Transferred from Cal Berkeley at the D1 level. Didn't see a lot of time throughout his years with the Golden Bears. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole with Weber working ahead just like he did to Rivera. But as we saw, Rivera battled and eventually delivered that RBI single. Velasco riding a 4-game hitting streak. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Velasco doesn't like it. He's rung up for out number 2. And the first strikeout of the afternoon for Max Weber. brings up Hayden Roberge, left fielder for Post. First pitch is a called strike to Roberge. Standing in the righty's batter's box. Graduate student transferred from the D3 level at Norwich University. Batting .326 this season, has 16 ribbies on the year. Roberge getting on base at a .461 clip. He's got Rivera over at first and Rodriguez at third. Jammed inside, sends a blooper to right field, making in the right spot. And making the grab is Bresniak for out number 3, but Post gets one back. It's 4-1 Felician as we head into the top of the second on the CACC network. Top of the second inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. It's back to the top of the order for Felician. All 9 batters got up in the top of the first inning. Jackson Wall leads off, sends a chopper to Alfala at short, throw on to first, and in time. Wall began the first inning with a single, eventually came to score. Now he begins the second with a ground out. And a much better start for Brennan Holligan, who steps on the bump. Had a rough first inning, giving up 4 runs on 5 hits. No strikeouts for the right-hander. Luis De La Cruz now steps in. He's 0 for 1 with a pop-out to Alfala, but that's when the starting first baseman Cardona went crashing into Jesse Alfala and eventually left the game with an injury to his left arm, hand, forearm area. And so Manny Contreras is the one that has stepped in at first base spot. Holligan quickly ahead, 0-2 to De La Cruz. Seems much more settled in this second inning. The 0-2. In the dirt, and good block by Perez. The 1-2. Towering pop-up behind home plate. Perez is there, and he'll make the grab for out number 2. Now that there's no more defensive changes, we'll run you through this post-defensive alignment. Damaris Rodriguez is out in center. Hayden Roberge occupies left, and flanking Rodriguez in right is Isaiah Velasco. Manny Contreras has now stepped in at first base. Rene Vega holds second. Alfala finishes up the middle infield at short, and Jester Rivera holds third base. Perez, the battery mate, with Halligan. Yes, Chris Corchado sends a fly ball into foul ground down the left field line. He opened up the scoring with an RBI double in the first inning. The former Post Eagle and second-team All-CACC first baseman last year in his return to Waterbury Municipal Stadium as a part of that championship team for the Eagles. The 1-1. Fly ball straight away center. Rodriguez drifts back, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the second for Holligan. We head to the second, or bottom half of the second. Post looking to get back in this one. They trail 4-1 on the CACC network. Seven, 8, and 9 due up in the bottom of the second inning for Post. They trail 4-1 to Felician in Game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. If you're just joining me on the CACC Network, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me. Sun has started to come out. What has turned into a beautiful Friday afternoon. 61 degrees and sunny. The first pitch from Max Weber to Jalen Kelly is dished inside for ball one. Kelly batting an even .300 on the season, has a home run and 12 RBIs on the year. Takes that on the outer part of the plate, and it's 1-1. Kelly delivered that home run in Game 1 of the doubleheader against Georgian Court back in March when Post had its first home game of the year. The 1-2. Kelly takes upstairs, and it's 2-2. Hitless against Wilmington on Tuesday. He was a combined 0 for 7 was Kelly. And that hitless streak continues. He's now 0 for his last 8 as he's rung up Looking. Weber's second strikeout, both by the Looking variety. And there's one gone in the bottom of the second inning. And now Manny Contreras will step in. He was not the starting first baseman, but has come in after the injury to Cardona in just the second batter of the game in the top of the first. Got hurt on a collision with Jesse Alfala on a pop-up on the infield. And hear one another, that they're screaming that it was one another had it. And so Contreras steps in. Just 10 at-bats on the season. And this is roped, and a diving snag is made by Polanco over at third. And there's 2 gone. on an excellent defensive play from Ernesto Polanco for out number 2. Didn't even get a chance to read out the stats on Contreras. And now it's back to the bottom of the order with Eric Perez, the catcher. He flips the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1. Perez, a .259 hitter with a home run and 13 RBIs this year. Gets on base just a few clicks below 400 at a .394 percentage. He's behind 0-2 against Weber, who's looking to answer the 1-2-3 inning from Holligan with a 1-2-3 frame of his own. The 0-2. Outside, 1-2. The 1-2 is high, and the count is evened at 2-2 with 2 away in the bottom of the second. The 2-2 from Weber is outside. Perez is battled all the way back to work the count full. Perez on a 2-game hit streak and has hits in 7 of his last 8 contests. The payoff pitch inside, and Perez battles all the way back to work a 2-out walk. And it's back to the top of the order with Jesse Alfala. He grounded out to the shortstop Skrivanik in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch to Alfala. He's swinging, and he nubs it foul down the first base line towards the Felician dugout. Perez not a threat to steal. He's 0 for 1 on stolen bases this season. Alfala takes the breaking ball down and away, and the count sits at 1-1. One brushes inside, and shifting out of the way is Alfala. Came into today batting .416 on the season with 13 RBIs. And he continues to work ahead in a 3-1 count, staying patient against Weber. Alfala gets on base and a .559 clip entering today's contest. The 3-1, big swing and a miss on a fastball down and in. Count runs full with 2 gone. Perez over at first. A 4-1 Felician lead after a 4-run top of the first inning. Post answered back with a single tally in the bottom half. The 3-2, swing and a miss. Weber puts Alfala down on strikes. He gets his 3rd punch out of the afternoon and strands Perez on the base paths as we head to the 3rd inning. Felician in front by 3 on the CACC network. Into the third inning on the CACC network. 4-1 Felician in front over Post in game one of this Friday afternoon doubleheader on a sun-splashed Friday in Waterbury, Connecticut. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me. Felician in front 4-1 after a 4-run top of the first. Post answered back with an inning in the bottom half, but both teams posted scoreless frames in the second inning. And now we come into the third as Rocco Bresniak leads off. The four-hitter takes a called strike one from Brennan Holligan, who answered back from a rough first inning with a 1-2-3 frame in the second. Bresniak is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and he's quickly behind 0-2. But he reached base on that strikeout. It was a drop third wild pitch. And then the throw from Perez was wide of the bag of Contreras as Bresniak in an 0-2 hole jammed inside. He fights it out towards right center field, and it is down for a base hit. So Bresniak reached base in an unconventional way in the first. He does it with a bit more of a standard way with that base hit out towards right. And now brings up Anthony Lamar, who has an RBI on a ground out back in the first. Drove in Chris Corchado. Lamar squares to bunt. Halligan bobbles it, lost it, still had time, and fires out Lamar at first. He was looking to get a double play over to second. Had some time to get Bresniak. But the transition from his glove to his hand wasn't clean. Eventually dropped it to his feet. But Lamar not too quick out of the box. Gave Halligan enough time to get him at first. Brings up Hayden Walters. An RBI triple in the first. That one gets away from Perez. Advancing over to third goes Bresniak. And he's 90 feet away from stretching this Felician lead back up to 4 runs. This driven straight back from Walters, 1-1. Extended his hitting streak to 6 consecutive games on the triple in the first. He's looking to make it 4 multi-hit games in the last 6. The 1-1 nubbed in front of home plate. Halligan picks it up, looks back the runner at third, and fires on to first for out number 2. Infield came in on that at-bat against Walters, and Halligan with his second consecutive 1-3 putout. And now Ernesto Polanco steps in. The third baseman is on his 4th school in 4 years. Swings on the first pitch, drives it out towards center field. Back goes Rodriguez, and he'll make the over-the-shoulder grab for out number 3. So Bresniak reached on a leadoff single, and then it was 1-2-3 after that for Halligan as we head into the bottom of the third. Felician in front, 4-1 on the CACC network. Bottom of the third inning, Felician in front 4-1 on the CACC network. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on this beautiful Friday afternoon from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. Renee Vega leads off for 2, 3, and 4 in the post order in this bottom half of the third inning. Trailing by 3, Felician put up all 4 runs in the first, and Post answered with an RBI single from Justin Rivera that drove in Vega in the bottom of the first inning as he takes a first pitch ball upstairs from Max Weber. Vega rounds out the middle infield for Post with Jesse Alfala. Both stand at 5'7". As Vega takes it outside for ball 2. One of the shorter middle infield combos I've seen, but both are very sound defensively and both get on base at a very high clip, both above 500 in terms of on-base percentage. Vega already reached on a single in the first. He's ahead 3-0 now against Weber. And the switch hitter in the lefty's batter's box. And 3-0 is high, and Vega works a 4-pitch walk to begin the bottom of the third. Damaris Rodriguez now steps in, the center fielder. He's 1 for 1, singled back in the first, was left stranded over at third. First pitch swinging, he's out in front, pulls it down the line foul on the right field line. As I said, coming off a co-conference player of the week this past Monday, batted .600 in the last week. Looking to start his hitting streak back up. He had a 6-game hitting streak that was snapped against Wilmington in Game 2. In Game 1, he was 1 for 2 with a couple RBIs, 4 runs scored, and 2 walks. Jammed inside on the 1-1. He fights it off and pops it up foul at third base side. Count moves to 1-2. Transferred from Rollins College at the D2 level. He cuts and misses on the off-speed from Weber. He goes down on strikes. Nods his head as he walks back to the dugout. It was a great pitch from Weber as he gets his 4th strikeout of the afternoon through Game 1. And Weber continues to be one of the top pitchers in the CACC this season. First pitch is a called strike on the outer half to Justin Rivera. He had the RBI single that drove in Vega in the first inning. But when looking at Weber, it's been a complete turnaround for him. In his freshman season, he just appeared in 4 games, all out of the bullpen. He went upstairs with some high cheese, and Rivera couldn't catch up. Snap throw back to first has Vega diving back in ahead of the tag from Corchado. He lost it for just a moment. But for Weber, had a 13.5 ERA through 4 appearances last year, throwing just 4 2/3. This is a high chopper, gets over the head of Weber. Walters picks it up and fires on the first for out number 2. Vega advances over to second. As now Isaiah Velasco steps up. Great play from Walters. It's tough to get it over the head of Weber, standing at 6'8". But in those 4 appearances, just went 4 2/3, gave up 9 runs, 7 earned on 10 hits. Opponents were batting above 400 in that small sample size against Weber. This season, he's become a starter, and opponents are certainly struggling as Velasco cuts and misses on the first pitch. Coming into today, opponents were batting just 188 against the tall right-hander. 4-1 record with a ERA just over 2 at 2.12. He's quickly ahead against Velasco, who went down looking his last time up. Chokes up on the bat a little and stands in an 0-2 hole. Weber comes home. Velasco turns, sends a towering fly ball deep towards right field. Bresnak goes back at the track, and it's off the base of the wall. Coming to score is Vega. Velasco around second into third with a stand-up 2-out triple. That was just a few feet away from being a home run for Velasco, and cuts the lead in half, makes it 4-2 in the bottom of the third. '18th RBI of the year for Velasco. He was looking for his second home run of the year, as that is a called strike to Hayden Roberge. Velasco 90 feet away from making it a one-run game if Roberge is able to find a way to drive him in. He's 0 for 1, popped out to right field his last time up. That ended the first inning. Count evened at 1-1 as that misses upstairs. 16 RBIs for Roberge this season. The 1-1. Roberge jammed inside, sends a deep fly ball out towards center field. Moving back onto the shadow of the warning track and making the grab is Ballman for out number 3, but Post gets one back on the RBI triple from Isaiah Velasco. Makes it 4-2 Felician as we head into the middle 3 innings here on the CACC Network. Top of the 4th inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium into the middle 3 innings. It's a 4-2 Felician lead, all 4 runs for the Golden Falcons coming in the first inning. Since then, it's been quick work for Brennan Halligan, who has settled into this start. He faces 8-9-1 in the Felician order, beginning with Matthew Skrivenik. And he takes the first pitch ball inside. That is upstairs, 2-0. That driven the other way, and a foul ball gets Halligan back in the count at 2-1. Foul tipped, and it's 2-2 to Skrivanik. Two popped up, foul ground, first base side. Halligan on the brink of 200 career strikeouts, has 148 in his career at post, and had another 50 when he was at the College of Southern Nevada. So he's at 198 in his career. 2-2 drifts outside, and the count runs full. Against Skrivanik, who had a double in the first inning and was left stranded on the bases. Three-two, jammed and sends a floater right into the mid of Contreras over at first for out number one. Christian Baumann now steps up, and the first time through the 9 hitters for Halligan, he gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Second time through, just 1 base runner has been allowed, and that was the single from Rocco Bresniak in the 3rd inning. The 1-0 popped up, shallow left field. Alfala moves back, and he makes the grab for out number 2. It was a long run for Roberge. He couldn't get over there in time, and Alfala made the twisting grab running backwards into shallow left center field. And there's 2 gone as it comes back to the top of the order with Jackson Wall. Wall is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first, and then grounded out to Alfala back in the second. Takes a called strike on the first pitch from Halligan. The 0-1. Another towering pop-up, this behind home plate. Perez rips the mask off, and he makes the snow cone grab for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3, top of the 4th for Halligan. We head to the bottom half, post chasing a pair against Felician. Back on the CACC network, bottom of the 4th inning, Post trailing 4-2 against Felician in game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader. Was initially slated for tomorrow, but with the poor weather likely in the mix, a lot of rain potentially in the forecast for tomorrow, game got moved ahead, and they'll complete their series on Sunday at Felician in New Jersey. But for now, game one of today's doubleheader. Felician jumped in front with a 4-run first. They've been held scoreless since. Post with a single tally in the first and in the third as Jalen Kelly leads off. Took a first pitch ball and then took a big hack on that pitch from Weber, and he missed, so it's 1-1. Kelly's 0 for 1, struck out looking back in the second. 1-2 off speed, freezes Kelly and catches the top of the zone. Makes it 1-2. The 1-2. Takes outside 2-1. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Kelly down on strikes for the second time today. This time by the swing variety as Weber picks up his 5th punch out. Ramped up the heat, went down and inside against Kelly. He couldn't catch up, and Manny Contreras now comes up. He was the sub for Cardona when he got hurt in the second batter of the game back in the first on a collision with Jesse Alfala. Contreras is 0 for 1, had a sharp line out to third, and Ernesto Polanco made an excellent diving grab for that out. 1-0, paints the outside edge, 1-1. Contreras, 8th game this season. He is now 2 for 11 on the year with a couple of doubles and 2 runs scored. He has 3 RBIs this year as well. Falls behind as Weber finds his own once more, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 from Weber. Contreras on the ground, stabbed by Walters, fires onto first, and it's in time for out number 2. Another sharply hit ground ball from Contreras, and Walters with a nice play over at second. Brings up the 9-hitter, and Eric Perez, he pops up the first one foul, and it's 0-1. Perez worked the walk, and then he was left stranded over at first in the second. An eerily similar situation as this count moves to 1-1, as that is just a touch inside from Weber. He was ahead 0-2 against Perez, who then battled all the way back, took the next 4 pitches, and worked that 2-out walk. The 1-1 pulled along the ground foul on the third base side. Out in front again, and it stays at 1-2. Perez with hits in his last 2 games in 7 of his last 8 with post. Goes down on strikes this time. Weber with a pair of punch-outs. In the bottom of the 4th, he gets up to 6 total as we head into the 5th on the CACC network. It's Felician in front, 4-2. Top of the fifth inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. 4-2 Felician in front. Nearing the halfway point in game one. Golden Falcons looking to add on some insurance if they can. They put up all 4 runs in the first inning, and since then they've been stifled by Brennan Halligan. His second time through the order, just allowed the 1 hit to Rocco Bresniak. Other than that, they all went down. As Luis De La Cruz leads off in the fifth, 2, 3, and 4 due up. De La Cruz is 0 for 2 with pop out to Alfala and the catcher Perez. This one sharply hit on the ground. Alfala scoops it up, fires to first. And a quick out number 1 in the fifth as De La Cruz is now 0 for 3. Halligan has now retired 7 consecutive Felician hitters. First pitch to Chris Corchado is popped foul, and it's 0-1. Corchado with an RBI double in the first opened the scoring. He then flew out to Rodriguez in center to end the second. A 1 breaking ball drops in the dirt, 1-1. One is outside, 2-1. For more on Halligan, he's retired also 11 of the last 12 hitters he's seen. He's fully settled into this contest. 2-1 outside, and it's 3-1. Hasn't had a walk thus far, but he's on the cusp of doing it here against Corchado. And he does just that. A 5-pitch, 1-out walk puts Corchado back on the base paths. And sets the table for Rocco Bresniak. He's 1 for 2 with a single back in the third. He struck out in the first, but it's one of those wacky drop third wild pitches. And the throw from Perez dragged Contreras off the bag, so Bresniak reached and eventually scored. Takes the first pitch ball outside. The 1-0 pops it up foul, first base side, 1-1. So Bresniak's the lone Golden Falcon to not head back to the dugout. Although Halligan thought he had him his first time up. The 1-1. Bresniak sends a towering fly ball out towards center field. Rodriguez moves over towards right center and makes the grab for out number 2, and now Bresniak heads back to the dugout at the hands of Halligan. Two gone as Anthony Lamar now steps up. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out in the first. Grounded out to Halligan his last time up. He laid down the bunt. Halligan was looking to turn 2, dropped it on transition, stayed with it, and eventually put Lamar out at first. Lamar clips the first pitch back, and it's 0-1. DH for Felician came in batting .320 this season. The 0-1 goes halfway around and pulls it foul on the 0-2. Looked like the hit and run was on as Corchado darted as Halligan started his motion. But as the pitch raced upstairs, he was kind of caught in no man's land. The 0-2. Lamar pulls it on the ground through the 5-6 hole and into left field for a base hit. A 2-out base knock for Anthony Lamar puts runners on first and second with 2 away. brings up Hayden Walters, who was already delivered today. Had the RBI triple in the first, but then he grounded out to Halligan in the third. He's got a runner in scoring position in Corchado and Lamar over at first. The corners come in for the Eagles. Contreras and Rivera have their toes on the infield grass. First pitch to Walters, finds a gap on the right side of the infield. Rounding third, here comes Corchado. Throw in is cut off by Vega, and Felician gets back on the board with Walters' second RBI of the day, an RBI single. Makes it 5-2 Golden Falcons. So it would have been a relatively smooth last 3 innings for Halligan. The Golden Falcons woke up their bats once again. Coming with 2 outs, back-to-back base hits. One from Walters, bringing in Corchado, and Ernesto Polanco now steps in, takes the first pitch ball. As I alluded to, Polanco on his 4th school in 4 years, started at Coastal Carolina, was a ranked prospect coming out of high school at in New Jersey. Count moves to 1-1. Was the 23rd best prospect by perfect game, 5th best shortstop out of New Jersey, and overall he was the 183rd shortstop in the 2021 class. Didn't play in his freshman season with Coastal. Cuts and misses on the 1-1, and it's 1-2. So he transferred to Charleston Southern, stayed at the D1 level with the Buccaneers. Started 32 of 39 games, batted .260, a couple home runs, 11 RBIs, but then he transferred again. Went to Rowan College at the JUCO level in New Jersey as this 1-2 gets away from Perez. Both runners will advance another 90 feet. And so now at third is Lamar, and at second is Walters, both in scoring position now for Polanco. And with Rowan College, he was a part of their 2024 NJCAA D3 National Championship, was an All-American with them as well, a third-teamer in the infield, and now he's come over to Felician. 2-2, Polanco drives it out towards left center field. Long run for Rodriguez into the gap, and he makes the running grab for out number 3, but Felician adds one more on the RBI single from Hayden Walters. We head to the bottom half. Felician in front, 5-2. Bottom of the 5th inning, Felician in front, 5-2 over Post in Game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader in the CACC. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on the CACC network. Felician added a run in the top of the 5th inning on an RBI single from Hayden Walters, his second RBI of the afternoon. Pushed that advantage back up to 3 runs. Felician had been held scoreless over the last 3 innings. after putting up 4 runs in the first. Post trying to answer back and get back on the board. They were within 2 after an RBI triple from Isaiah Velasco in the third drove in Rene Vega. It's back to the top of the order in the bottom of the 5th. Jesse Alfalla works ahead 2-0 against Max Weber, who's out for his 5th inning of work. Alfalla's 0 for 2. A ground out and a strikeout on his afternoon so far. And he's ahead 3-0. On deck is Rene Vega, who's reached base and scored both times he's gotten on the base paths. (2-0) right down the chute for a called strike. And it's 3-0, or 3-1 rather, excuse me. Half swing from Alfalla, takes a weird hop and goes over the glove of a diving Corchado and into right field for a leadoff base hit. An excuse me base hit for Jesse Alfalla. And just took a weird hop on the infield, popped up over the glove of Corchado. And now Rene Vega steps into the lefty's batter's box. As I said, he's gotten on base both times he's come up today. Singled and scored in the first and then walked and scored in the third. Now Fallow with his speed is on base for the first time this afternoon as Vega takes the first pitch ball upstairs. 2 middle infielders for Post, both tough outs. Both 5'7". Their small stature sometimes makes it tough to hit the zone, but they're both strong hitters as well. The 1-0 to Vega, right at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Weber has been strong on the bump today. Through 4 innings, he struck out 6. That's in the dirt, blocked by De La Cruz, and it's 2-1. Some activity for Felician in their bullpen. Just a couple of guys getting loose. 2-1. Drifts inside, and Vega moves out of the way. Puts the count at 3-1. The 3-1 comes in. Vega clips it foul into the post dugout or just in front of it on the third base side. Count runs full with nobody out. On deck is Damaris Rodriguez. Alfalla takes his lead over at first. Payoff pitch. Vega loops it out towards left field, charging in and making the grab as Wall. And there's one gone. Damaris Rodriguez, 1 for 2. Goes around on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Singleton was left stranded in the first and then struck out back in the third. The 0-1. Rodriguez pulls it down the first base side. Corchado doesn't have a throw to second, so he'll take it to first himself. And there's 2 gone on a nice play from Chris Corchado. A sharply hit ground ball that was just skittering along the foul line. Made the diving stop and really took away potentially extra bases from Rodriguez, and with the speed of Alfalla, potentially a run from Post. He's still in scoring position as Justin Rivera comes up to bat. He's got an RBI single back in the first. first one is in there from Weber, and it's 0-1. Rivera 1 for 2, as I said, the RBI single in the first, and then a ground out to Walters back in the third. The 0-1. Holds up on his check swing on that pitch that was down and away, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 races upstairs, 2-1. The 2-1 drifts down and away, 3-1 now to Rivera. Post looking to answer back from the RBI single from Hayden Walters in the top half of this fifth inning. Push that Felician lead back up to 3. 3-1. High and inside, ducking out of the way was Rivera, and he heads down to first on a 2-out, 5-pitch walk. Brings up Isaiah Velasco, and we'll get a mound visit for Felician. Tire infield will come in, and we'll see if this is the day for Max Weber. Does not appear to be that. There is a left-hander getting loose in the Felician bullpen. And with the lefty Velasco coming up, they'll stick with their trusted righty in Max Weber against Velasco, who was just a few feet away from potentially a home run back in the third inning. Delivered an RBI triple that drove in Rene Vega. Made it 4-2. Hit into the base of the wall out in right center field near the 382 sign. The wind has been blowing out towards right field today. First pitch to Velasco. Down and away to the left-hander. 1-0. The other at-bat for Velasco ended in a strikeout looking back in the first inning. The 1-0. Big swing and a miss from Velasco. And it's 1-1. Rivera's at first, and now Fala's at second. Infield is back. The 1-1. Velasco shoots it the other way, and it'll split the gap in left center field and roll all the way to the warning track. Alfala scores. Rivera gets the wave around. The relay throw home is not in time. A 2-run double from Isaiah Velasco, and Post is within 1. Skrivanik, the shortstop, delivered a dime of a throw to Luis de la Cruz, but it was just a little high, and sliding underneath the tag was Rivera. And Velasco gets up to 3 RBIs in game 1 and brings Post within 1. He's in scoring position on the 2-run double. And Hayden Roberge with a chance to drive in the game tying run. Takes the first pitch strike from Weber. And you saw that mound visit ahead of that at-bat with Velasco. There was a left-hander warming up in the Felician dugout, or bullpen rather. Opted not to go with him, and Velasco made Weber and this Felician staff pay. He's ahead 0-2 against Roberge. That at-bat for Velasco really had the feeling of the biggest at-bat we've had so far in Game 1. And Velasco delivered to bring his Eagles within one. Roberge, a bouncer, left side of the infield. Backhanded by Skrivanik. He slips and still makes the throw on time and in time for out number 3, or rather on line. Skrivanik had his foot slip. Corchado waited till the very last moment to watch it in, and Roberge was just a step late. But Post gets 2 back on the RBI 2-run double from Isaiah Velasco. We head into the 6th. It's 5-4 Felician on the CACC network. Top of the 6th from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. It's 5-4 Felician as Post gets a pair back in the bottom of the 5th on a 2-run double from Isaiah Velasco, driving in Jesse Alfala and Justin Rivera to make it a 1-run game. It's 8-9-1 due up for Felician in this 6th inning. Brennan Halligan out for his 6th inning of work. First pitch is inside to Matthew Skrivanik, who is 1 for 2 today. Doubled back in the 1st and then popped out to the first baseman Contreras on a soft liner. Halligan gets back in the zone and it's 1-1. Skrivanik turns on this one, drives it deep towards left field. Running back and running out of room is Roberge. It's a solo home run for Matthew Skrivanik, and it's a 6-4 Felician lead. Skrivanik driving in his 2nd home run of the season, 14th RBI, and Felician answers back with a solo home run to lead off the 6th inning. Brings up the 9-hitter in Christian Baumann. Takes the first pitch ball from Halligan. The 1-0. Drifts outside and it's 2-0. Baumann catches a piece, and it's 2-1. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of pop-outs. One to the right fielder in Velasco, and the other to the shortstop Alfala. Two one, sliced foul. 2-2. The 2-2 outside from Halligan. Count runs full with nobody on in the top of the 6th. Payoff pitch. Bauman pops it up. Foul ground third base side. Rivera is there, and he's got the grab for out number one. Momentum has fully shifted back in favor of Felician. The energy that Post was having after the two-run double from Velasco to bring the Eagles within one has been fully drained after that solo shot from Skrivanik to lead off this sixth inning. Now it's back to the top of the order with Jackson Wall. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the first. He's then hit a ground out and popped out his last two times up. He's in an 0-2 hole here as Halligan quickly getting ahead. Wall has had an interesting college journey as well. Started his freshman season at Grand Canyon in 2022. Had his season cut short due to injury. Takes it outside 1-2. Batted .316 through 11 games with 6 starts. And then didn't play his last 2 seasons till this year with Felician. So no baseball in 2023 or 24 for Jackson Wall, a native of San Jose, California. Has now settled in, has started to produce as the leadoff man in this Felician order. A 7-game hit streak now after that single in the first. And this one hit on the ground. Diving stop on the backhand by Alfala. Long throw is not in time. The speed from Wall is too much, and he gets on board with an infield one-out single. And now in that 7-game hit streak, he has 4 multi-hit games. All have come in a row, so now a 4-game multi-hit streak for Jackson Wall. He's got hits in all but 2 of his appearances this season. Luis De La Cruz steps in. Takes the first pitch strike. He's 0 for 3, a couple of pop-outs and a ground out on the afternoon thus far for De La Cruz. This one he floats out towards center field. Rodriguez ranges back and makes the grab in front of the warning track for out number 2. Brings up Chris Corchado. He's 1 for 2, an RBI double in the first, a fly out, and then a walk where he eventually came in a score in the 5th. Takes the first pitch strike on the fastball that burns the outer edge from Halligan. Corchado scored on the RBI single from Walters in the 5th. Fouls this one off, and he's behind 0-2 with 2 away. Wall over at first has some speed. He's got 10 stolen bags on the year. Haven't seen anyone today try and steal from either side. Until Wall here, the 0-2 is high, the throw down, not in time. Perez with a strong throw, and Alfala applied the tag, but it was just a touch late. The speedy Jackson Wall picks up his 11th stolen base of the season. 6'2" as well. Those long strides get him going quickly. Dancing around over at second. The 1-2 home is in the dirt to Corchado. Good block by Perez. A 2-2. Corchado fights it off. Keeps the count where it is. 2-2 count with 2 away, and standing on second is Wall. Already added a run in the 6th inning. Did Felician on the solo shot from Matthew Skrivanik. 2-2, Corchado pulls it to Vega at second. Tosses to first in time. And the inning is over, but not before that solo home run. Makes it 6-4 Felician. Wall is stranded on the base paths as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Post chasing a pair on the CACC network. Bottom of the 6th inning, Felician in front, 6-4 over Post. New pitcher on the mound, it is Nathan Ruth. The redshirt freshman left-hander out of Union Beach, New Jersey, makes his 9th appearance on the season. Comes in 2-0 with a 5.59 ERA through 19 1/3 innings of work. Has given up 16 runs, 12 of those earned on 18 hits. 24 Ks to just 7 walks. Opponents are batting .231 against the Southpaw. That also closes the book on Max Weber. He goes 5 innings, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned with 6 strikeouts to 3 walks. Jalen Kelly leads off in the 6th. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch is inside, and Kelly shimmies out of the way. Outside from Ruth, and it's 2-0. He's coming off a start against Bridgeport on March 30th at home. As Kelly turns on the 2-0, sends a fly ball out towards left. Wall in front of the warning track is there, and he makes the grab for out number 1. Kelly is now 0 for 3. In that start against Bridgeport, Ruth went 5 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits with 4 punch-outs and 2 walks. And got the win in that start as Felician took down the Purple Knights 13-3. Manny Contreras now steps in. He's 0 for 2, lined out in the 2nd and then grounded out in the 4th. And like Kelly, he's ahead 2-0 with Ruth missing inside and out. Ruth gets back in the zone, and it's 2-1 with 1 gone. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Post in the bottom half of the 6th. Count moves to 3-1. The bottom part of this post order is 0 for 7. Just the lone walk worked by Eric Perez. So really 0 for 6. And now they stay at... Nope, they will still be 0 for 6 as Contreras thought he had worked the walk and call strike. Settles back into the box. Payoff pitch from Ruth. Contreras fights it off on the fastball inside. Count stays full with 1 gone. A 3-2. And there's ball 4. Contreras will head down to first. Brings up Eric Perez. Had the walk and then a strikeout. His 2 times today. First pitch is a called strike on the outer half. The 0-1. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. The 0-2, and Perez fouls it back. Ruth has had some strong outings in his freshman season, highlighted by the 9 strikeout outing against Malloy. Through 3 2/3 innings with the 9 Ks. Did give up 5 runs for them earned. As that is a called strike on the inner half against Perez. He doesn't like it, and he heads back to the dugout shaking his head on the first strikeout of the afternoon for Nathan Ruth. Cracks a smile towards his dugout on the first base side. I think he's even surprised that it was called a strike. But he'll take it with 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Back to the top of the order for post. Jesse Alfala steps in and takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. The 0-1 drifts outside, and it's 1-1. Post trailing by 2. Got within 1 on the 2-run double from Isaiah Velasco in the 5th, but then Matthew Skrivanik with the solo home run in the top of the 6th inning pushed that advantage back up to 2 for Felician. Alfala takes the 1-1, and it's a called strike to work the count to 1-2. Contreras is at first after the walk. The 1-2 from Ruth. And Alfala catches a piece to keep the count where it is. The 1-2. Another foul ball from Alfala. Ruth looks over at Contreras. The 1-2. And another foul ball. They're 1-2. That is outside. 2-2 with 2 gone. Contreras over at first. Standing on deck is Rene Vega. Holding on to Contreras is Corchado over at first. No shift on in the infield or the outfield here with 2 outs. Called strike 3. Alfala down looking, and Ruth goes skipping to the dugout with back-to-back punch-outs, both by the looking variety, sends us to the 7th. It's 6-4 Felician on the CACC network. Top of the 7th inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. New pitcher on the mound for Post. Logan Politano steps on. Deals a first pitch ball to Rocco Bresniak. Closes the book on Brennan Halligan. As Politano goes behind 2-0. Halligan went 6 innings, giving up 10 hits, 6 runs, 4 of those earned, with a strikeout and a walk. So he finishes the day 1 off his milestone mark of 200 career strikeouts after he struck out Rocco Bresniak in the first, but it was a drop third wild pitch. And then the throwing error from Eric Perez. The 3-1 from Bresniak is pulled into left field in front of Roberge, and he's aboard with a leadoff single. Second base hit of the afternoon for Bresniak. For Politano, he comes in with the team low with 2.70 ERA, making his 11th appearance. He has 1 save on the year. Has thrown 20 innings, giving up 8 runs, 6 of those earned on 17 hits. He deals a first pitch strike to Anthony Lamar. He's got 11 strikeouts to 8 walks. Opponents are batting .239 against the freshman right-hander. Hailing from Beekman, New York. Snaps a throw over to first, and Bresniak dives in ahead of the tag. Another throw over to first, and Bresniak just in. That one closer than the first time. The 0-1. Lamar drives it the other way. Shallow right field, and not coming up with the diving grab is Velasco. Bresniak was caught in no man's land and then races over to second base, and Lamar will reach on a blooper that Velasco couldn't come up with on the diving attempt. It will be a base hit for Lamar. Showing bunt, and now a throwback to second base. Not in time. The throw from Perez was just a little high, and Alfala had to climb the ladder to make the grab, and then Bresniak was diving out of the way to avoid the tag. Eventful first pitch to Hayden Walters, who was showing bunt, and it was inside for ball one. Walters shows bunt again, pulls back. Counts at 2-0. Walters has a pair of RBIs today. An RBI triple in the first and then an RBI single back in the fifth inning. Shows bunt again. Pulls it down the first base side. Politano picks it up, fires to first, and it's in time for out number one. It advances Bresniak to third and Lamar to second. Brings up Ernesto Polanco. Had an RBI single in the first and has flown out to Damaris Rodriguez his last two times up out in center. First pitch is in for a strike. Polanco, an All-American last year at the JUCO level with Rowan College of South Jersey. The infield is all the way in with one gone, as this one misses down and away from Politano. And once again, down and away, 2-1 now to Polanco. Post trying to keep this where it is, keep it within striking distance. The 2-1. Down and in, pops away from Perez, but not far. He picks it back up just a few steps down the first base side, and Bresniak holding over at third. Infield all the way in from first to third. All players with their toes on the infield grass. Does have first base open. 3-1 to Polanco. Finds the gap up the middle and into right center field. Bresniak will score with ease. Motoring around third comes Lamar. Digging for second is Polanco. The throw is offline, and sliding in ahead of the tag is Ernesto Polanco with a 2-run double. Pushes that Felician lead up to 4. And it's 8-4 Golden Falcons here in the seventh. Ernesto Polanco with RBIs number 2 and 3 in game one. First pitch is a called strike to Matthew Skrivanik, who had the home run back in the 6th inning, solo shot. For Polanco, he picks up RBI number 13 and 14 on the year. That a foul tip that goes off the mask of Perez behind home plate. Home plate umpire giving a moment for Perez to settle back in. Counts at 0-2 with one gone. Polanco's over at second. The 0-2 home, down and away, pops away from Perez, and scampering over to third goes Polanco. Felician looking to put up another crooked number. They already have with the 2-run double by Polanco, but looking for more here. That is down in the dirt from Politano, and it's 2-2. To Skrivanik, who has all the infield in against him. Polanco over at third, the 2-2. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. He goes down looking, and there's 2 gone in the 7th. Politano picks up his first strikeout. And Christian Baumann now comes up to bat as the infield drifts back into their standard positions. Rivera still just a touch off the infield grass as Baumann pops this up on the first pitch. Shallow left center field. Charging in comes Roberge, and he makes the grab for out number 3. But Felician now doubling up post in the 7th. A 2-run double from Ernesto Polanco makes it 8-4 Felician as we head to the bottom half of the 7th on the CACC network. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rene Vega coming up to bat as he'll face the left-hander in Nathan Ruth, who comes out for his second full inning of work. Vega, the switch hitter, will now bat in the righty's batter's box. Post trailing by 4, an 8-4 Felician lead. They added to it on a 2-run double from Ernesto Polanco in the top of the 7th inning. They've led the whole day today. 4 runs in the first inning, was then held scoreless for the next 3. And then I've brought runs across in the 5th and 6th with single tallies, and then 2-run double from Polanco in the top of this 7th inning. Has it in an 8-4 lead. Vega in a 1-2 count, as that is called on the inner half for a called strike. Had a single scored in the 1st, then walked and scored in the 3rd, and last time up he flew out to left field in the 5th. The 1-2. Vega. Softly hit ground ball, scooped up by Skrivanik at short. Fires on the 1st. There's one away in the 7th. Demaris Rodriguez, the center fielder, now comes up. He's 1 for 3. A single, a strikeout, and a ground out on his afternoon thus far. This first pitch swing, and it's over the head of a leaping Walters and into right center field. Rodriguez motoring around first, slides into second with a one-out double. It was bobbled for a moment out in center field by Christian Baumann. And Rodriguez picks up his second hit of the afternoon, puts a runner in scoring position, trying to get this post offense into gear that has struggled against this Felician pitching staff. At their 7th hit. Meanwhile, for Felician, 13 hits on the afternoon. Justin Rivera now comes up. An RBI single back in the first. Ground out in the third, and then walked and scored in the 5th. Takes a first pitch strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Rivera drives it the other way, deep out towards right field. Bresniak getting turned around, and it's over his head and rolls all the way to the wall. Rodriguez turns on the afterburners, coming in to score from second, and Rivera picks up an RBI double. Makes it 8-5 in the bottom of the 7th. Second RBI of the day for Rivera. Gets him to 28 on the season. And Isaiah Velasco now comes up. Two righties for post, and Rodriguez and Rivera. With some extra base hits against the lefty and Ruth. And now the lefty and Velasco steps up. Rivera with a large lead over at second base. First pitch home is inside for ball 1. Velasco is 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and back-to-back extra base hits his last 2 times up. A triple in the 3rd, and then that 2-run double in the 5th. Takes the 1-0 low, and it's 2-0. The 2-0 from Ruth in there at the bottom of the zone, 2-1. Catches the outside corner, 2-2. Velasco now with RBIs in 3 straight games. His hitting streak extending to 5 games. 2-2. Holds his swing and count runs full. Payoff pitch. Called strike 3. Velasco doesn't like it. He tossed his bat thinking it was a walk, and he gets rung up for the 2nd time this afternoon. 3rd strikeout for Ruth. All have come by the looking variety, and there's 2 away now in the 7th. Hayden Roberge now steps up. Righty on lefty. Shift is on for Felician. The second baseman Wall playing shaded towards second base. First pitch strike is dealt in by Ruth. Third baseman and Polanco is just a step off the line. And Skrivanik, the shortstop, is playing a touch closer to second base, so a large gap between Polanco and Skrivanik on the left side of the infield, and of course, basically no one between first and second as Roberge takes another called strike from Ruth, and it's 0-2 with 2 away. Ruth comes home on the 0-2, and Roberge fights it off. Keeps it where it is. Outfield is relatively standard. A few steps to his left out in right center field is the center fielder Bauman. Bresniak playing closer to the line in right, so a big gap in right center, and then left fielder Wall in his standard spot. Roberge chases the high fastball, and he goes down by way of the K. 4th strikeout for Nathan Ruth, and he ends the inning with Rivera stranded at second. But Rivera brings post within 3 on his RBI double to drive in Rodriguez. It's 8-5 Felician as we head into the 8th inning on the CACC network. Top of the 8th inning, it's back to the top of the order for Felician. Jackson Wall to lead off, followed by Luis De La Cruz and Chris Corchado facing Logan Politano, who heads out for his second inning of work out of the bullpen. Post trailing 8-5 against Felician. First pitch from Politano, well inside and just maybe an inch off from hitting Jackson Wall, who was prepared to take it, didn't even flinch. 6'2" left fielder. This hits a chopper back up the middle. Alfala Fields throws on the move. The stretch from Contreras, and he's got it for out number 1. Wall now 2 for 5 with a couple of base hits. Politano gave up a couple of base hits his first inning of work, then got an out, and then the 2-run double from Ernesto Polanco with the infield in. Made it a 4-run advantage for Felician, as showing bunt and pulling back is Luis De La Cruz. It is in there for a called strike regardless. And now the third baseman Rivera, who was playing back, will come into the infield grass. The 0-1 breaking ball from Politano drops into the inside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. De La Cruz is 0 for 4. A couple of pop-outs, a ground out, and a fly-out. 0-2 is pulled outside by Politano. The 1-2. De La Cruz pops it up. Foul ground, first base side. Contreras charging over into the Felician bullpen, and it lands foul. De La Cruz came into today riding a 5-game hit streak and had hits in 6 of his last 7. The 1-2. Pops it up, first base side towards the Felician dugout and lands on top of it. As De La Cruz continues to fight. Over his 5-game hit streak, De La Cruz is 7 for 17 with a couple of home runs and 8 RBIs. Came into today with a team high and 3 home runs. Will stay that way after the solo shot from Skrivanik in the 6th. That was just his 2nd home run of the season as De La Cruz catches the piece on the 1-2 again. And he appears to be in a little bit of discomfort. Says he's all good and settles back into the righty's batter's box. Third base coach Steve Langen was going to check on him. 1-2. De La Cruz in discomfort. He doesn't even move out of the batter's box as this is popped up to first base, and the catch is made by Contreras, and De La Cruz slamming his bat in frustration. Hope he's all right. And some obvious discomfort. There's now 2 away. And he's 0 for 5 on the day as well. Corchado comes in and takes the first pitch ball from Politano. Third base coach Steve Langen, the twin brother of Felician head coach Chris Langen, who's in his 21st season at the helm of Felician, just the 3rd coach in program history, was an assistant the first 2 years of the program. And is bounced in the dirt from Politano, and it's 3-0. Langen, a 3-time CACC champion, 4-time Coach of the Year in the conference. Most recent title came in 2023 when they defeated Post. 3-0 from Politano. Catches the outside edge, and it's 3-1. Lost his hat in the process. He's had 20 or more wins in every season since 2005. At least every full season, as Corchado takes ball 4 and heads down to first on a 2-out walk. Second walk of the game for Corchado. I say full season because 2020 season was canceled due to COVID and was the 1 seed in 2021, but withdrew because of a team quarantine. They had 18 wins that year. And he's looking to get his team back in the fight for the top spot in the North. Came with a 9-5 record in conference play so far. As this shot from Bresniak out towards straightaway center, and Rodriguez is there to make the grab, and the inning ends with Corchado stranded on the bases. We head to the bottom of the 8th, Post trailing by 3. It's 8-5 Felician here on the CACC Network. Bottom of the 8th inning from Waterbury. It's an 8-5 Felician lead over Post in Game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader on the CACC Network. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on this Friday afternoon. The sun was out for a little while. It's tucked away behind the clouds now as Nathan Ruth heads out for another inning of work. Faces Jalen Kelly. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Post. Kelly is 0 for 3 today. Here the 1-0 turns, drives it out deep towards left field. Wall going back onto the warning track and the wall, and he leaps up to make the grab for out number 1. Kelly was just a few feet away from getting his second home run of the season. Pushed Wall all the way back to the wall, but he's able to make the grab for out number 1. There's been a couple of defensive changes for Felician. Braden Walsh checks in at first base in place of Chris Corchado. And, of course, we saw the discomfort from Luis de la Cruz when he was up to bat in the top of the 8th inning. So a change behind the plate. As the 1-0 from Contreras is lifted high in the air out towards right field. Bresniak moves over, and he'll make the grab for out number 1, but it looks like that might also be a change out in right field. Bresniak with the distinct long hair and can't exactly make out the number over there. But behind the plate is Jose David Medrano. First pitch is low to Eric Perez, and it's 1-0. That misses, and it's 2-0. Gets back in the zone, and it's 2-1. Bounces in 3-1 now to Perez. Three-one misses, and Perez works his second walk. Back to the top of the order. Jesse Alfala steps in. First pitch is in the dirt, bounces away from Medrano, but not too far, and Perez holds over at first. One 0 is low from Ruth, and it's 2-0. That's a called strike against Alfala, and it's 2-1. The other change in the outfield is Andrew DeAngelis is in right. Two-one popped up by Alfala, straight to DeAngelis out and right, and he makes the second grab of the inning, and that is out number 3. As we head into the 9th, it's Felician 8, Post 5 on the CACC Network. Top of the ninth inning between Post and Felician. The Golden Falcons with an 8-5 lead. Dalton Wright steps on the bump for Post. First pitch buzzes the tower of Anthony Lamar, and he leans out of the way. Wright making his 6th appearance on the season, comes in with a 10.80 ERA through 3 1/3 innings pitched. Well outside, and it's 2-0 now to Lamar. He's given up 4 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits, has 1 strikeout to 4 walks. Opponents are batting an even .400 against Wright this season. And it's 3-0 as that misses upstairs against Lamar. Wright, a sophomore out of Windsor Locks, Connecticut. 5'10" right-hander. 3-0. Catches the outer part of the plate, and it's 3-1. Lamar 2 for 4 today. Has 1 RBI on his ground out back in the first. He reached base on back-to-back singles his last 2 times up and thought he had reached on a walk. Instead has to make that awkward walk back to home plate, put his elbow guard back on. Elbow guard fell off, and now he's going to be called over by his coach, and Chris Langen. And his elbow guard fell off on his first practice swing, and so he throws it over towards the dugout. Payoff pitch. Lamar turns, lifts it out towards center field. Rodriguez is there, and he's got it for out number 1. Hayden Walters now steps up to bat. 2 RBIs on the day for Walters, an RBI triple in the first, and then an RBI single in the 5th. He's 2 for 4, and with the other 2 at-bats both being groundouts to the pitcher. One of them being a bunt to the pitcher, but he's ahead 1-0 as that misses down from right. That catches the outside corner to the lefty. That's 1-1. For Wright, his last appearance came against Wilmington on Tuesday in Game 2. A 14-12 win for the Wildcats. A foul tip by Walters as it at 2-1. Right through a scoreless frame with 1 walk allowed. Walters on the 2-1, drives it out towards right center field. Long run for Rodriguez, and he won't get there in time as it lands into the wall. Walters looking for his 2nd triple of the day, and he will get it with ease. Another 1-out triple for Hayden Walters, and puts a runner on 3rd with just 1 gone in the 9th inning. A 3 for 5 day for Hayden Walters in Game 1. And he's looking for some insurance as Ernesto Polanco now steps up, looking to add to his 3 RBI in Game 1 as the infield comes in. First pitch is behind him from right on the breaking ball, and it's 1-0. Polanco is 2 for 4, an RBI single in the first, then back-to-back flyouts to center in the 3rd and in the 5th. And then in the 7th, delivered a 2-run double with the infield in. This one gets away from Perez. Walters holds over at 3rd as it count moves to 2-0. 2-0. Polanco pulls it through the left side of the infield and into left field for his 4th RBI as Walters jogs in to score. The lead grows up to 9-5 for Felician. Ernesto Polanco having one heck of a day in game 1. Now brings up Matthew Skrivanik, the shortstop, who is 2 for 4, a double and a home run, a solo shot in the 6th. This time hits one on the ground, diving stop by Alfala at short, fires to first. This stretch from Contreras, it goes in and out of his glove. Watering around second, on his way to third goes Polanco, and the inning will continue. I was going to continue regardless, but for Skrivanik, he now stands over at first. Skrivanik picks up a base hit, and advancing on the throwing error from Alfalo was Polanco. Called strike on the outer half to the 9-hitter and Christian Baumann. Double play depth up the middle for Post with Alfala and Vega. Runner going. No throw from Perez. And Skrivanik in with a stolen base over at second. Infield will come back in for Post. Baumann is 0 for 4 with pop-outs to right field, left field, the shortstop, and third base. The 1-1 swing and a miss from Baumann out in front of the off-speed from right. One-two count. He's got Polanco at third and Skrivanik at second. Baumann out in front, pulls it foul down the right field line. The 1-2, Baumann turns on it, drives it deep towards center field. Rodriguez won't get there. It's over his head and into the wall. Polanco will score, as does Skrivanik. A 2-run double for Christian Baumann. And Felician crosses the double-figure mark. Blossoms the lead up to 6. It's 11-5 in the top of the 9th. Golden Falcons adding some insurance here in the 9th inning. They're going to get back in the win column after dropping game 2 against Chestnut Hill on Tuesday. What snapped their 5-game win streak, looking for 6 of their last 7. As for Post, trying to avoid a 4-game skid, but they are going to have a lot of work to do in the bottom of the 9th inning. Top of the order comes back up with Jackson Wall. And it's outside and it's 2-0. Wall finds the gap on the left side of the infield. Baumann gets the wave around. Turning on the burners and coming in to score standing up. An RBI single for Jackson Wall. Makes it 12-5 Felician. And now we'll see our first of 3 defensive changes we saw in the 8th inning for Felician. Jose Medrano comes up to bat. Swings and misses, runner going, and Wall. The throw down is a strike from Perez. In there in time for out number 2. One hopped into the glove of Vega and applied a tag to the hand of Wall coming in. Looked like he didn't get the best of jumps. Had a stolen base back in the 6th, but he's caught stealing in the 9th for out number 2. Hit and run might have been on as Medrano swung on a breaking ball from right that was in the dirt. Takes that one, and it's 1-1. Medrano batting an even 200 this season in his 12th appearance of the year. He is 6 for 30 with 7 RBIs. Goes ahead 2-1. The junior from North Bergen, New Jersey, ahead 3-1 now with 2 gone against right. On deck stands Braden Walsh, who came in for Chris Corchado as Medrano cuts and misses on the 3-1. Payoff pitch. Medrano lifts the towering fly ball deep out towards left field, running back onto the warning track, and not getting there is Roberge. Medrano turning and burning around second, digging for third. He will get there as he slides in with a 2-out triple. And his first triple of the year, 5th extra base hit. And the Golden Falcons continue to rake here in the top of the 9th. Braden Walsh now comes up, and then standing on deck is Andrew DeAngelis. First pitch to Walsh. High for ball 1. Walsh making his 16th appearance on the year. He's 2 for 11 at the dish for a 182 average. Wright gets back in the zone and evens the count at 1-1. On base percentage for Walsh is at .400. He's worked 3 walks, has been hit by a pitch once as well. Takes that, and it's 1-2. Still looking for his first RBI of the year. This one is driven out towards left field. Roberge has a beat on it, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. But more damage done. 4 runs plated in the top of the 9th by Felician. They take a 12-5 lead, looking for 3 more outs in the bottom of the 9th and trying to take game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader against Post. We'll be back after this on the CACC Network. Felician looking for 3 more outs in the bottom of the 9th to close out game 1. Nathan Ruth looking to shut down Post in these final 4 innings of work. Came in the 6th in place of Max Weber, who went 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, but struck out 6. As Ruth faces Renee Vega to lead off, swings on the first pitch. It's a bouncer to Polanco at third. Sidearm throw is in time. Nice stretch from Walsh for out number one. Golden Falcons jumped ahead early. 4 runs in the first inning, then were held scoreless for the next 3. Post cut the lead in half, made it 4-2. Felician played a run in the 5th, and then a 2-run double from Isaiah Velasco made it 5-4, but before Matthew Skrivanik belted a solo home run to lead off the 6th, made it 6-4 Felician, and then 2 runs in the 7th and a 4-run top of the 9th inning has blossomed this lead up to 7, with Post getting its last run in the 7th on an RBI double from Justin Rivera. Has it at a 12-5 advantage. 18 hits for Felician, or 19 hits rather, actually, in this contest. Demars Rodriguez ahead 3-0 against Ruth. Was taken all the way, and it's a called strike down the chute. Fouls the 3-1 back, and it's a full count with 1 gone. Felician looking to get back in the win column after dropping game 2 of their doubleheader on Tuesday against Chestnut Hill, as Rodriguez will head down to first on a 1-out walk. Justin Rivera now comes up. He's got a couple of RBIs on what has been a good day for Rivera. He's 2 for 3. Has a run scored as well. Worked a walk back in the 5th. Had that RBI double in the 7th that drove in Rodriguez, the last run for Post in this game. Rivera takes a called strike on the inner half from the left-hander in Ruth. Oh, 1 is popped out of play, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 popped out of play by Rivera. Post has dropped its last 3 games, lost the back half of their Sunday doubleheader against Southern Connecticut State, 13-2. Then had a high-octane offensive day against Wilmington, but it was not enough because the Wilmington offense had more in the tank. A 19-14 loss in Game 1 on Tuesday, and then Game 2, a 14-12 loss. Post was previously unbeaten in conference play prior to that doubleheader against Wilmington. Ruth ahead 1-2 against Rivera. Swing and a miss. Rivera down on strikes. 5th strikeout for Ruth. Looking for 1 more out. And Isaiah Velasco is the last man up here for Post with 2 gone. Wilmington had a 5-game win streak, lost it in Game 2 against Chestnut Hill, looking to make it 6 of their last 7. Velasco fouls off the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Looking for a wire-to-wire win in Game 1. Are the Golden Falcons. Had that big 4-run first inning, trying to bookend it on that 4-run 9th inning. As that misses outside of Velasco when it's 1-1. Velasco's 2 for 4, has 3 RBIs on an RBI triple in the 3rd, and then the 2-run double in the 5th. Got Post within 1. Made it 5-4. Since then, it's been 7-1 in favor of Felician. Late throw down to second as Rodriguez was going. He's in there ahead of the throw from Medrano, and it's 2-1 as that one missed from Ruth. 2-1. Velasco cuts and misses, and it's 2-2. For Rodriguez, that was his 7th stolen base of the year. Ruth looking for one more strike. The 2-2 home. Touch low, and the count runs full to Velasco. Ruth leans in, lefty on lefty, checks on Rodriguez at second. Back to the batter, the payoff pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. Velasco again thought he had worked the walk. Instead, he is rung up for the 3rd time today. Ruth ends game 1 with his 6th strikeout back-to-back Ks to close out game 1. And the Golden Falcons take game 1 12-5 over Post. Game 2 coming up in a little while here from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. Big day offensively from Ernesto Polanco. 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs for Felician. He paced the way and gives a good job and a win to Max Weber. Went 5 innings with 6 Ks. For Post, they were on the back foot from the jump and couldn't find a way to catch up. They'll look to bounce back in game 2 and snap their 4-game skid. That one coming up in a little while here from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. Till then, I've been Matt Scalzo. See you in Game 2 on the CACC Network.